Um, Next is coaching progress, made continuous verbal and physical assessment of students' ability and knowledge. So that means watching the students. Repeated steps in variation. So for example, cat-cow kneeling, cat-cow standing, right? Or a side stretch seated, and then when you stand, you go back to the side stretch. You may pump it a few times. You may go in and out of the pose. You may add, then that's the next one, sorry. Oh, in variation, yeah. Presented or repeated steps to directly challenge physical strength, limberness, endurance. So repeating the steps, not just doing it once and then moving on, but actually going back and practicing it again, because sometimes when you go into the pose or you do it once, you don't have a chance to really even feel it or get a little deeper into it or feel that grounding or take into account the correction or the feedback the teacher gave you. So you can't just do it once and then say, well, we did that.
And that's the other thing is, if you're watching people and you're not doing it with them, if you're not good at that yet, you need to be able to pay attention, see what people are doing, so you can give a correction. You know, and it's just it'll just be a general correction. My favorite one is when you side tilt people, but their torso comes off their hips, and people do it over and over again. Bring them up, change that position, because that's a big position to change.
Any corrections were accurate and well chosen for students. Corrections were insisted upon positively. That's what Lisanne was saying. You're doing this wrong. Let's try it this way. Or what if you move the back hip this way, or this, you know, that sort of thing. Corrections were understood and applied by the students. It's all great and dandy if you say it, but if it doesn't register with the student, you have to take a step back and say, maybe they need me to show them it, right? Now, you don't have to give correction in your first class. You want to give a little feedback, though. It could be to the whole class. It could be lift your toes to engage the calf muscles or whatever you're doing. Featuring a student to demonstrate that you do not have to do in your evaluation, but it is something you should be able to do. Encouraged and demonstrated self-correction techniques to help students correct themselves. For example, I can say, I like to do the twist one because the twist is a good one. I turn to the side. I say, so inhale, lengthen the spine, reach the left fingertips behind you. Don't lean onto the arm, but rather lift up from the chest and just use this as a little support. Bring the right hand across to the opposite knee and twist, right? So I'm actually showing someone how to correct themselves is by, okay, I'm not leaning back. I exaggerate the leaning back. You know, come up to over the hips, that sort of thing. Making students aware of progress. This is also one that's more applicable when you're ongoing teaching, where you're able to say, when you first started, you couldn't touch your toes, and now look, you know, that sort of thing. Storytelling, creative and engaging, so this is has to do with artistic merit. Directions and metaphors for class work was inspiring to students. Has anybody ever took a class where you were told a story in class or had a mythology or a personal experience? Yeah, and really helps you to connect with that. Students exhibited genuine appreciation of the class. Well, now, you know, that's something that's a little bit out of your control. However, you can kind of tell if you hit the nail on the head or if you didn't. Students maintained a high level of engagement. So this is where you change positions in the room, where you directly interface with someone, where you ask for feedback, that you are staying engaged. You're not a talking head at the front of class, which is easy to do. It's easy to do that. So, any questions about the teaching appraisal? Any questions about the fact that you and one of your classmates will be teaching a class? Okay. Any words of wisdom, Sarah, for teaching your first class? For the test, because you had to do it.
I don't know. It's not as intense as it feels. I think for my evaluation, I went over it for 2 weeks straight, and then 2 people showed up, and that was great. And so it wasn't so bad.
Share your experience when you taught your first class at the church.
Okay, when I taught my first class at the church,
Trial by fire. It was trial by fire.
Totally.
it was trial by fire, I gotta say, because my first few classes, I was very concerned because I was kind of gauging from my mother, like that activity level or ability level from my mother. And she's like, she's a trainer, you know, but has a series of disc issues in her back, but she's like fit, you know, she's able. So I was like, all right, so she's like a good person to go home. All right. And so she could do lunges, she could do that, but it was like down dog, out of the question. And her trainer came up to me and said, do not put your mother in down facing dog. I said, okay. So I have to think about going up and going down without down. What do I do? So I was like, all right, that's fine. That's totally good. I'm great. I'll do it kneeling. And so I had, you know, I brought blankets. It was a mess.
I had to rearrange the room, and that wasn't even enough.
Yeah, I rearranged it because I'm from a church, so I moved all the chairs. And of course, because I'm going from a church, my mom's church, a lot of people knew my mom and a lot of people knew me. So 11 people show up on the first day. And immediately, also the priest that lets me teach is 10 years Iyengar trained. So he shows up, stiff as a board, ujjayi breath, like asana, as like and I'm going, okay. And then I go, okay, so everyone getting on our knees, and I hear someone go, I got knee issues, I'm not going on my knees, so I'm.
She had people coming in 10 minutes late.
I had someone come in 10 minutes late and talking to her husband, and I'm just like, what the heck? And so I'm like, okay, so you're on a chair, and you're on a chair over there, and it was a mess. Everyone's facing me. And so I was on the like at the altar, you know. So I was like, you know, it was a little bit intimidating when I first started teaching, and I was kind of like, this isn't working. You know, I'm having a series of different activity level or ability level, and they want something. A lot of people and immediately what I started noticing is that, despite the fact that they were struggling like crazy, they really liked it, the restorative stuff, and they came, and people started coming to me and like telling me stuff. My sister just died, da 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 da. And I was going, okay, so you guys are like not wanting to work out, and I'm okay with that. But I was feeling like if they're staring at me, and I can't move, I cannot not demonstrate where I'm at. And so what I did is I said, okay, all of a sudden it was like 3 weeks in, I just rearranged it. I put all the mats out beforehand, and I had them facing away. And so they were like, what do I do? And I had they had a mat facing a chair. And I said, I made Danny come in with me, my boyfriend, and he's been really good with me. And so I just said, okay, Danny, I just want you to be there with your feet on the chair. So when people come in, they know what they're doing. And so then everyone started not facing me and facing the chair and being laying down. And then everything's with the strap doing like stuff like that. And it just immediately allowed me to walk around. And they didn't have to look at me. Sometimes they would look over. My biggest issue once I did that was just going, what foot are we on? And oftentimes I go, okay, let's turn left foot. I go, right foot. My other thing is often saying shoulder instead of foot, or I'll say elbow instead of knee or something like that, and I kind of get screwed up. But I'm much better at that. But definitely having them face away from me was like
took a lot of pressure off.
It took so much, and I started going to restorative classes, and I started seeing that. And I know that the one I was going to had like much more props, or much. They had walls, everyone had lights up the walls, and I didn't have that because I'm facing. This is the church.
But you made do. You made do with what you had.
I made do with what I had,
and to have 11 people come and just throw you into the fire of actually restorative or basic movement, because it will really throw you when you realize who's showing up for classes.
Yeah, and one thing that was great was that when I first, there's this guy that's in my class named David, and he is like this hulking guy, and he moans and he sweats, and he oh, you know, and at first it was like, it was obvious that his ability wasn't very high, and it's not. But
has he gotten better?
Well, he comes religiously, and he like loves it, and he has gotten better. But when but he still moans. That's the problem. It's great now because he's like my lifeline. Even though he moans and farts all over the class. He's really messy. But
he's very messy.
He showed up, and it scared me at first because he, you know, and then he would fall out of the pose, or he'd get up and get water, and I'm like, are you all right? And everyone's kind of like, who is this? Like, and I started going, oh God, you're like creating anxiety in the ranks, you know, like, I can't do this. And I wasn't sure, and I kept going, how do I get you a chair? You go, no. You know? And then I started seeing. He starts coming more and more, and he starts going early. He starts showing up early. He starts talking. At first it was like, oh yeah, I got arthritis, I got potassium deficiency, I got this, I got that. And now it's like my back pain's gotten better and stuff like that. So and his moaning and groaning is actually like is what's keeping my class like lively. You know? and so it's stuff like that. So I gotta say, my whole moving the class, being able to walk around, I don't demonstrate much at all, but I do a lot of adjustments, and I walk around, and I'm kind of just like, I don't have to do a lot of it. So that's been great for me. So that's kind of my words of wisdom.
So you demo some, and then people are in it, and you get to walk around.
Yeah, and I deal with the people that are there. And they're not like staring at me with big googly eyes going.
So you actually have them facing each other then?
No, they face away.
They face the wall then.
They face away. Well, today I tried, because I just started the Saturday class, and I haven't had a big group of people yet, and so I had a couple people from my Friday class come today. It was my dad, my boyfriend, and then Mr. Iyengar coming, you know, like, and so I'm like, okay, you guys are a little bit more active, a little bit more able. My dad is less so, but I was like, okay. And he said, oh, I'll try something challenging. So what I did is, instead of going up on the altar stage here, what I did is we set up the same exact way, facing in, but then I took one of the spots. So I was in the group. And then, so I was demonstrating, but then I would say, and we were all facing each other, you know, it was fine. But, you know, I was trying to do lunges and stuff, and so I was going, okay, I'm seeing, you know, hearing my dad needs help. And every time it was like, we go down dog, then we go into a crescent lunge or a warrior two. I think we only ended up doing 2 big standing poses. But then we go to child's pose. And that's what kept my dad in it. You know, that's what kept my dad feeling good in it and feeling, you know, and being in the group too was nice, and I could go in and out. I could go in and out to my mat. So,
That's awesome. That ties right into our topic today. Thank you so much, Sarah. Perfect timing. So, you know, we are talking about teaching multi-level classes, and we are teaching about, or we started the topic of like saving a class. That was on our video class 2 times ago. The last one was with Lisa on anatomy. The time before was on saving a class. What do you do when you feel like the class you're losing it? So talking about teaching a multi-level class, we're going to do a little exercise here because we've already started teaching asana, and we've already gone through quite a few poses. We've all practiced teaching sun salutations. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to distribute. You're going to get 2 cards with 2 different poses. Give you a second to take a look at them. We'd like to know what variation you're going to give for intermediate advanced students and what variation you're going to give with someone who has a physical ailment. And I'll tell you their physical ailment. Okay? So my example is Virabhadrasana 3, Hero 3. right, which is this pose here. My advanced pose is going to be the full pose, right? Or maybe even full pose to a standing split. Maybe even coming back from the standing split to the full pose. That would be very advanced. That requires a lot of strength. My ailment for this one will be a knee injury. So my variation is going to be either micro-bending the knee or not raising the foot off of the ground. And it just so happens that they have those two variations on here. Does that make sense, what exercise we're doing? So this ailment is a back injury. This ailment is a shoulder injury. This issue is tight hips, hip issue. This is wrist problem. This is knee injury. We're going to give you this one since you just talked about it. This is, let's do wrist injury. This is
We
back pain.
gave Sarah wrist twice.
Did I give her wrist?
No, knee.
Knee
On
and
the
wrist.
wrist? Okay.
You have back problems and neck problems. You have neck problems and wrist problems. And we're all going to do the pose. You're going to teach us and tell us how to do the pose for the two variations. Who wants to go first? And don't, if you're doing the pose that they're instructing you, don't worry about going to your maximum because we haven't even started warming up or anything. So let it be. I'll go. Yay, Bobby! Go, Bobby! What are we doing?
For plank, Chaturanga Dandasana. So, do you want me to start with intermediate advanced?
Whichever you want.
Okay. So, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to give you instruction if you're an intermediate?
You're going to give everybody instruction.
Everybody instruction. Yes.
Okay.
But you have to
We'll
keep
do
the
it.
entries in mind.
Okay,
Yeah.
then we'll start with...
So you'll do.
we'll
You'll
start with the-
teach it twice.
Okay. Okay, so we're all going to come to table, and we're going to go into plank. So if you have a wrist injury, I'm going to want you to drop onto your elbows, on your forearms. And when you're ready, start taking 1 foot back at a time, engaging the abdominal core, stepping one leg back and then the other, dropping the hips, expanding the upper back. Because with a wrist injury, we don't want to be on the wrist, we're going to be on the forearms. If this is too much, you can drop to your knees. And hold this for 2 breaths. And then come into table again. So if you do have that wrist injury, slowly come up, put my weight on your knees, and go back into chest. For Chaturanga Dandasana, the full expression of the pose is we are on our hands. We can go into plank. So extending the legs back, we have our hands shoulder width apart. We are dropping the hips slightly, and then we are going to slowly engage the abdominal core and bending at the elbow, bringing the elbows into the ribs, dropping all the way to the floor. And then when you're ready, you can go into Bhujangasana or Cobra pose, lifting the chest slightly, or up dog. And then reverse push-up. Engaging the triceps, pushing up. You can use your knees, go all the way up. Holding that, and then dropping on the knees, the back of the chest. Too much? Is that too much instruction?
How would you put somebody who had to chaturanga? I mean, do you have to worry about that?
Well, that was the intermediate advanced one.
Yeah, two
Intermediate
different ones.
advanced,
Yeah,
okay.
no, that was perfect. You did great.
Okay,
That was
okay.
great. Be aware of the we, you, me.
Yeah. I think we a lot.
Mix
Imagining we're all doing it together, but yeah, I have to, it's not my practice.
it up at least, at a minimum mix it up, but very nice. Exactly, so we've got, I love that you added the dropping the knees as an option, but you didn't do it right at first. The benefit is of you did it the right way, because the benefit of that is it challenges the student to go into it, and then they go, okay, drop the knees, or they still try it. So that was good. I really liked that. So what's our second pose?
Me? Okay, sure. Triangle, Trikonasana, standing pose. So we're going to...
And what was our injury for
neck.
beginners?
Neck.
Okay.
So let's take our right foot forward and take the left foot back, turn it to 45 to 60 degrees. If that's the case, 65, you're going to angle the foot more toward the front of the mat. Bring the arms out, and if you do have a neck injury, when you shift your right arm forward, bring that left hip out, tuck in the right hip, and you're just going to bring your hand down to the thigh or the shin, and do not bring the left arm up, bring it behind your back or on your hip. And stay 2 to 3 breaths here. Look down, and then slowly bend the front knee, soften it, come up. Shift again. Bring that right hand out. Dropping that left hand onto the hip, on the back, and then bring the hand down. Comfortable. Try not to push on the knee, either the shin or the thigh is best. Opening the chest. Soften the front knee, lift down, and slowly push up. Okay.
So another word that I like to use is find a comfortable place for your gaze, or find a comfortable position for your head and neck, or your neck should not be strained in this position. Those would all be also good cues or words to say. Will you talk us through the other side?
Yeah, the other one I would say, don't let your head fall into space.
Yes.
Yeah, don't let your head right. Okay, so for intermediate, advanced.
Oh, we'll talk us through beginning on the other side first.
Oh, okay. So, put your feet. And bring that right foot at a 45 to 60 degree angle. Bring the left foot forward. Bring your arm. When you're ready, take your gaze over your left hand. Maybe bring that right hand to your hip now. Bring that right hip out and reach with the left. And then slowly bring the hand down to the thigh, wherever's comfortable, the thigh or the shin, and slowly bring the body over the torso, opening the chest. And you can take your gaze out or down. Soften the front knee.
Can I hear this without extending the arm, because this is straining my neck?
Ooh.
That is straining my neck to do that.
Oh, okay. So, bring your arms up again. Okay. So you're going to shift your right hip, and without reaching too far, just bring the hand down comfortably, either to the shin or the thigh. Bring your right hand on your hip or behind you, and take your gaze over and down, out, let it comfortable. Give it some breaths here. And the front knee, push up.
I want to reiterate, though, what came to my mind was what Lisa Ann had said at one of our online classes, which I think you did well. Imagine you have that problem. You have to do work around it. And everybody, there are going to be some different things because one neck issue could be irritated when you reach the arm out. Another neck issue is irritated when you look down. So you have to, it is a little bit of, you have to feel them out. And then exactly what Lisa Ann did, where Lisa Ann goes, but that still bothers me. And then you go, okay, well, let me change it. So, because that's exactly what would happen in
Right.
class. Or the reverse needs to happen. Where then you say, is that looking for your neck?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because I'm going to be.
Well, I have.
As soon as I went like that, I can
But lift
feel
the shoulder.
you can see the shoulder lifts and it's like that goes through my head.
Yeah.
You know, and
That's
Yeah.
to reach out. But I was being aware of my neck.
I saw the
And they're
tension.
going look down. I'm like, oh, so much better instead of this thing.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Perfect. So will you talk us through full pose or a little bit harder?
Okay, so we're going to come to the top of our mat. You're going to step to the top of your mat. Hands over your heels for a moment. Two breaths. And then we're going to take your right foot back 5 degrees. Where it's comfortable. Your extension of the arms and the upper back. Bring that energy and then slowly open up the chest, dropping the left hand. Reach to the sky with the right hand. Like you're trying to reach something. Reach. And go more to the floor, the inside of the ankle or the outside. And then you're going to soften your arms.
Take a look around the room and correct what you're seeing around the room.
Right here. Beautiful. Nice open chest. You come up a little bit on your leg. Nice. See if you can reach your hand back in. You're ready, soften. With that knee, slowly bring yourself up. And get off the arms. And we'll reverse. So we'll turn the right leg to the back of the mat. The left leg is turned 45 degrees. Feel the hips open here. And bring your arms out. Feel the nice extension in the chest and the upper back. Take your gaze over the right fingertips. And when you're ready, shift your left hip back and tuck in your right. And slowly drop the right hand to the shin. Open up the chest, open the heart. Reach up with the left hand. Soften your jaw, soften your gaze. You go a little bit deeper. Go ahead and do that now. And ready. Slowly soften the right front knee. And you step up. And arms out again. Drop the shoulders. And ready on the next exhale.
Talk this out with the feet too. Bring us all the way to a standing position.
Okay. And now I want you to pivot your right foot And your left. Bring the left foot to the front of the mat and slowly bend the front knee and pivot and step forward.
So you need to use a few more directional cues.
Okay.
So for example, if I say, okay, pivot your right foot, I don't know if I'm pivoting it out or in.
Oh, right.
And also, you're not pivoting the foot, you're pivoting the hip from the thigh.
Oh, I was thinking like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So maybe it would be more accurate to say, you know, draw your toes to, you know, whatever, or turn your foot, whatever. But give us some more cues, because when you were like, I was thinking about it, if I'm a beginner and you said pivot your foot. I didn't know what
foot.
What I was going exactly. So take your right foot, you know, exactly. So when I do, well, let me tell you my script for triangle pose. So when I have my feet in here, inhale, reach through the right fingertips, draw yourself back up through center, reach through the fingertips, you know, open the arms wide, point both toes back towards front.
Mm-hmm.
Then the knees, step the feet together. That's what I say. What do you say when you're
I always say leg.
So
I never mention the foot. I say turn your leg out from your hip, because that's the correct verb. That's how it happens. It doesn't happen.
Triangle pose and talk us out of triangle pose, how you would talk out of triangle pose, please. Do you mind?
Sure.
So we were faced the other
So-
direction, so we were like this.
So come in, doesn't matter which leg you're using, I won't use right or left. Open your legs back out into a triangle. Okay. You're going to lift the toes off the ground. You're going to pivot on your heel to bring your leg back parallel. I like to reinforce the leg because it doesn't happen in the foot. It happens in the leg. And also, my whole thing, along with all these injuries, I'm being devil's advocate. I made you look around because there are people that think they know what they're doing, and they'll do the advanced, and then they'll be here, which is a big waste of their time.
And then how you talk people to their feet together.
No, excuse me. Parallel your feet, and then heel toe your feet back together again. Because then again, heel toe your legs. You got me on the spot now.
Well, it's, you know, I think I don't always say foot, I don't always say ankle, I don't always say leg. I do mix it up, but you want to be, it's a good thing to be aware of that rotation doesn't happen from the foot. The foot can't do it without the hip and the leg. So
Yeah,
I think it was very good.
In the anatomy, you know, where does this movement happen? It happens in the hip. You know, some people can turn their foot out like that, but the knee's going that way. You know?
Thank you, Bobby. Who's
Thank
next?
you. And so I'm going to remind everybody, I'm going to do something wrong, so you need to look around the room.
We should go since we're already standing and it has community, even though I don't feel entirely ready.
Okay, go. And what was our injury for the injury pose?
This one is the neck.
Neck. Okay. Got
So
it.
do I start with regular?
Whichever one you want.
Okay.
You just tell us.
Okay, come to the top of your mat. And make sure your feet are grounded. You're going to bring both arms overhead, the palms facing each other. And we're going to lean to the right side. We're going to bend at the waist. Make sure your jaw stays relaxed. And the gaze is relaxed. Let's come back to center. And we're going to bend at the waist to the other side. Take 2 deep breaths. And back to center. And release your arms to your side. Now, for those with neck injuries, we're going to do a modified.
So we'll keep our arms at our waist, or at our sides, and we will bend to the right at the waist, and you can lift your left hand, slide it up the side of your side. And close to, or as close as comfortable to your armpit. And we'll come back to center. And bring your right arm and slide it up along your side as you bend at the waist and move to your left. And take 2 deep breaths. Check for corrections. And return to center. And for our next pose, we will be
How would you like to get us to
Okay.
So, let's do a forward fold. And either step or jump your feet back. And the down dog. And come down on our knees. Into child's pose. Now let's sit up onto our heels. And wrap your feet around in front of you so that your legs are out straight in front of you.
I'm going to throw you a ringer right away. I can't lay down.
Oh.
It hurts to lay down today.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm going to give you a clue. I'm going to give you a clue. So you have this is perfect. You have a split. You're able to lay down. Some people aren't. So what you're going to do is you're going to then divide the class and address one part of the class first, and you're going to address the other part of the class and say, sit for a moment, and then you're going to let them know what to do, and then you're going to come back. Okay, so
I can sit for a moment while I get the rest of the class instructed in this pose.
Perfect.
Okay, so we are going to, you don't have to go back to it.
If you have a back issue, is laying down okay for you? If you have back,
Laying down is okay.
and so then to tell a person that's not laying down, then you go back to them and say, you're going to do this. Sit.
Sitting. And we're going to pull our right knee up to our chest and lift your head towards your knee if that feels comfortable for you. Laying back down. Another knee. Draw it up to your chest, your left knee. If it's comfortable, bring your head up to your knee. And release.
So you actually did both your intermediate and your issue at the same time. Because you have which was back. So yeah, exactly. So you got it. You got it. Exactly. So there was a neck issue that they can lay down, then you just have to move their head.
Right. That's what I was thinking, because when I'm not position surgery, that by itself is hard for me.
But when they just did the knee here and then dropped the chin to the chest, it worked perfectly. And did that make sense how you split the room?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Excellent. Good job. That was good. That was good. Lisa Ann threw you right there and was like, there you go. Who's going next? Sarah.
Wrist issue down dog and vertebral small
Knee issue. We're going to have to come to standing. How do you want us to come to standing?
from seated. Everyone sits up. We're gonna just curl our got cross legs. We're gonna curl from our knees into the tabletop lunge. I just start down because that's what we're moving into.
And what's our injury here?
Wrist issue. So I'll start with the wrist issue. Just for everybody in class, the elbows are just about shoulder width apart. Whatever's comfortable for you, but that's about the general. Let our head press downward, pull our toes, and then just slowly push up. The tush come up into a dolphin. We're going to work here not on getting our nose to the ground. Instead, we're just going to work on moving into the hamstrings, activating the hamstrings. Little flexing. If you need to bend your knees or even come out of the pose, don't worry about it. I'll come back into the pose. As always, if you want to micro bend the knees or bend the knees fully, go ahead. And from here, in our dolphin, I'm going to just let those knees right back to the ground. Sink back in the chest. Not for the more advanced version, which is normal. Lift up the tailbone. Again, from here, focusing on just creating length and activity in our hamstrings. You can micro bend the knees or even walk the dog here, walk our knees back and forth. You want to shake your head yes, or shake it no, or even move in circles, whatever feels good. Focusing on creating length and bringing those hamstrings over your tush, even if that means bringing your butt a little higher in the air. Think about creating length. So from here, we're going to look up from your hands and just slowly walk or jump forward between the hands into a nice forward fold. And just let us ragdoll here for a moment. Let the arms go. You need to micro bend or have your hands just resting on the shins or on the knees, or right above the knees, that's great. And we're going to just do a micro bend. We're going to come up halfway, flat back, hands on the shins or on this. Looking forward, let's get the shoulders up as we're holding the cup between our shoulder blades. And then we'll breathe back down. Forward fold. You can get any deeper now. Just one big breath. Exhale. And inhale. Lift up. Flat back. Reverse one all the way up. I wasn't getting on that too. Just so you know, I did a dolphin, and my head was resting on my arms. And she corrected it. And then in downward facing dog. Just so you know.
One other side note, so if my injury was low back, or if I had a back injury, then she would also have needed to change how I came out of the forward fold, or even how deep I was in the forward fold.
Mm-hmm.
That would be another thing, that if that was the injury and that was the pose. Okay. So.
So I'm actually gonna can I just pretend you all are injured?
Yeah.
For the injury? Can I do that?
Yeah.
So coming from Tadasana, letting the eyes be half masked, shifting forward on the feet, and moving back on the feet. And just shift for a moment back and forth until you find yourself smack dab in the middle, the weight evenly distributed. Feel that roundedness. And inhale, lift the arms up. And then exhale, slumber forward, forward fold. And we're going to just micro bend the knees here. We're not going to go all the way down, especially if you have a knee injury. You're just going to find that place of comfort, even if that means your hands are on your thighs here. And then we're just going to take our right foot back, and we're just going to drop that leg onto our invisible leg here. We're going to let that foot fall so that the top of your foot is resting on the mat or on the blanket. And then from here, we can do a number of things. We can either just stay here with our hands forward and our gaze looking just slightly out in front of us, a low lunge, but focus, and you can even come on the tiptoes, focus on lengthening the back. Or you can have yourself up on your knees, hands on the knee, lifting the torso, looking forward, letting the shoulder blades come back here. And if you're feeling like you'd like a challenge, or if your knees are feeling good, take that back leg all the way up. And again, we're going to have our hands down into that low lunge. And come up on our knee, or for the full pose, opening outward. Expanding the chest. Making sure to breathe. Make sure Is this comfortable for you for your ankles? Good. You don't want to have your feet so far apart if you want to go into the maximum or not. Just feel your body today where you're at. From here, we're going to exhale, release the arms, coming downwards to the mat. And then we're just going to come back into a downward facing dog, bent knees. And we're going to just walk the hands back to our feet. Letting the arms rest or ragdoll down. Knees micro bend. Have the hands on the shins or the thighs if you'd like. And just from here, we're going to have our hands on our thighs and just lift. Push back, look all the way up, using the core. Down yourself up. Open the arms. Okay.
Can you talk us through the other side?
So take a look at the room. So if you're at the front of your mat, come to the back.
Come to the back?
Come to the back of the mat.
Come to the back.
So we're going to lift up. Inhale and then exhale. All the way down. We're just going to just heel toe our feet out. They're just hip width apart, or if your hips are feeling stiff, they can even go a little bit wider. And then we're going to take our hands and just walk forward into that downward facing dog. The knees can be bent. We're focusing on creating length in the hamstrings and in the back. And now for our Virabhadrasana, we're going to take the other leg forward.
Is that left, right, forward? Right,
Left
right,
foot, left foot forward, right foot forward,
right
left
foot
foot
forward.
From here, back foot. And begin to lift. Make the bend. The knees can be right over the ankle or at least aiming towards that, but definitely not past. Take a few breaths here. Have the shoulders open, looking back, down in space, moving down the spine. And if you'd like to open the arms outward. And breathing here. Softening the tongue. And if your knee is feeling a little bit stiff today or having problems, just no problem, just straighten the leg. Or if you'd like to come down all the way, knee down, arms to the feet. A low lunge. Remembering to breathe. Take your arms, take that left foot forward into a forward knees. Now let's put our hands on our thighs and just lift up all the way. And release.
Thank you, Sarah. Really nice pacing. That was really good pacing, right?
Yeah, we have a good pattern here.
Yeah,
Stepping back to the mat and walking the arms forward.
yeah. So the pacing is really good because you want to have enough time where you get it to appreciate the pose, but not so much where you wish you were home watching TV, right? She did great variations for the knees, right? Which was, if the knee's bothering you, lengthen the leg. Another variation was using the blanket, right? Another variation was not just extending the arms so there's extra weight and pressure like a fulcrum onto the knee, but keeping the hands down or on the thigh. These are all really good variations. What would some other variations with that pose be for my knee? So you've got two knees in the pose. You've got the front knee that's bent and the back knee that's straight. So what are some,
like in case it was the
front knee,
or in case it was the back?
Exactly. What are some other variations you could have given?
Use blocks from both sides.
That would be a good one, right? Because that's going to take some of the weight out of the front knee. Anything else?
My other one was to use a chair.
Nice, right? So you can visualize that. Because then the front knee, right, I'll do it here so you can see. The front knee's bent, my back leg's straight, and I hardly have any weight on that front knee. That's excellent, Sarah. That's a good one.
And also the blocks.
It's hard to balance on it.
Yes, it is. It's hard to balance on a visible chair. Another one could possibly be to do really small Virabhadrasana one, bringing your stance close together, right, and working on it here. The other one to do in the chair is, let me show over here. The other one over here would be, if I'm sitting in my chair, this is my chair, turn sideways, and I'm here for my Virabhadrasana, or even if I can hold on to the back.
Somebody just showed us that.
She did that last week.
Oh, okay. I was like, confused everywhere now.
Yeah, we actually
You
did do it.
actually showed us that, yeah.
Yeah, so that would be the other variation. If you have, if the person, really has knee, the bending just doesn't work.
This won't work with chairs that have arms.
Yeah,
It's a contortion thing.
yeah, stool type thing. Thank you, Sarah. Beautiful, great pacing. Who's next? Only two of you. Okay.
I have a question about this one.
Yes.
The knee down twist. I'm a little confused by the picture. Are we just
Yes.
on our knees, or is this laying down?
This is laying down. This is a
Okay.
laying down twist with one knee up. And your injury was low back for this
For
one?
that one, it was back.
Yeah, so back issue. So with this one, when you're doing one knee to the chest and twisting over, it pulls on this low back
Mhm.
like all get out. Do
Right.
you have some ideas of variations?
So right, so they're showing.
Both knees bent would be
Mhm.
one variation, yeah.
Okay.
The other variation
And
would
this
be
is laying down.
laying down.
Okay.
The other variation would be a prop of a blanket between your knees or under the knees, so it's not as full of a twist, right?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So if I'm here and when I get here, my low back starts to really compress and talk back. So if, Sarah, can you toss me your blanket? So one option would be to put this blanket underneath, maybe I would even need two, to support that knee,
Okay.
or block, exactly. Or the other one, if I'm doing both knees, and I go over here and go, oh, that's really tight, it'd be like a blanket like this. Okay. So give it a go. So you're going to talk us through the full pose and the pose if we have low back issues.
And I'm going to throw the ringer in again. I can't lie down.
Oh, okay.
because I
So
can't.
your first task is everybody standing, so you got to get us to seated and to the ground.
So everyone come to the front of your mat. And stand in Tadasana. Take a few breaths here. On your next inhale, go ahead and lift your arms up overhead. Exhale, come to forward fold. Go ahead and step the feet back. Come to downward dog. And bring your knees down to the floor and sit back into child's pose. Go ahead and come up. Sit back on your heels. And come to either side and bring your legs in front of you into stack pose. All right, and go ahead and slowly roll back
So then now this is where you have to split your class.
Okay.
So now you have to address and say, if you're comfortable laying down today, pull your back. If not, stay seated.
Okay. So if you're comfortable laying down today, go ahead and roll back. And if not, stay seated where you are. So, and if you're seated, I'll be with you in one moment. And if you're laying down, go ahead and bring your right knee into your chest. Extend your hands out to the sides. And go ahead and twist that right leg over to your left. Take your gaze, take your gaze to your right. And then as for sitting down,
Exactly.
down, okay,
Yeah.
go ahead and, so if you're sitting down, go ahead and bring your right knee into your chest and cross it over your left leg. And is there any sort of twist with this?
Yeah,
No?
yeah, exactly.
Okay,
That's
so go ahead and bring
exactly what you
your right hand behind you and do a gentle twist to your left.
do. Exactly. And then you want to bring your voice back to the people reclining so they know they're not doing anything wrong. So you say, if you're still reclining, take one more breath here.
Okay. If you're still reclining, go ahead and take another breath. Go ahead and release. Come back down, bring your leg back out. And if you are sitting up, go ahead and untwist. Bring your leg back down to the floor. Go ahead and do the same thing with the opposite side. Bring your knee into your chest. If you're sitting down, cross your leg over your left, or you're laying down, go ahead and twist your left leg to your right. Open your arms and take your gaze to the left.
And I'm going to add one more chink in this.
Okay.
Remember, we did this hands-on adjustment and I'm sure you would do it.
You're going to want to go ahead and keep your neck up. Right. Then keep it aligned with your spine.
My spine's curved.
Doesn't mean to put it where it's comfortable for you.
No, this adjustment was.
It's a good answer. It's a good answer. It's a good answer.
You were here for this.
No,
I put behind me.
Oh, that's right.
So I can lean up and there we go. That's my girl.
Okay. And then bring your voice back to the people who are resting on the ground, so you don't want them to be left stranded.
All right, one more breath. Go ahead and come out of the twist and bring your leg back down to the floor. Okay.
This is a rare one. You're not going to get people like me that say I can't lie down.
Yeah.
Because it's not my lower back, it's my upper back. It's not happy on the floor.
Okay.
And then now you've got to talk people to standing to go to your second pose.
Okay.
So, and what's our injury with the second pose?
This one is shoulder.
Shoulder. Oh, good. Oh my gosh, I'm so smart.
Okay, so go ahead and bring yourself up to sitting.
But how do you want people to do that? Everybody did it differently.
Oh, I guess, okay. So go ahead and roll to either side, right or left. Go ahead and push yourself up and come to legs in front. Okay. And then go ahead and bring your legs to the side and come back up on your knees into tabletop. And you're going to push back into downward dog. Take a few breaths here. Go ahead and take your gaze to your hands and gently walk your feet forward. Into forward fold. We're going to go ahead and step the right foot back, keeping your foot at a 45-degree angle. And we're going to come up and bring our hands to our left thigh. And from here, we're going to take our left arm and place it onto our left thigh and reach the right arm up overhead into lateral angle.
So this is what I heard. I'm going to put my left elbow down on my left thigh.
And then
What
bring
am I
your,
doing wrong?
you need to open up your chest. Open up your chest and bring your right arm up overhead. Take your gaze up high or low. You'd also bring your arm here to the side, having your arm right up along your ear. Now, if you have shoulder issues, you could go ahead and just leave it to your side, or go ahead and wrap it right behind your back. Take a few breaths here. Go ahead and bring your right hand down to the ground. Frame your foot with both hands and step back into downward dog. Go ahead and walk your feet up to forward fold. And go ahead and step back with your left foot at a 45-degree angle. And come up on that to the thigh. Drop your right arm onto your leg. Open up your chest and bring your left hand up to the sky. And take your gaze up, down. And once again, if you are having shoulder issues, go ahead and drop that hand down to your side.
Then look around the room for corrections.
And so now I'm mobile enough to do this, but there are people that this is not going to move. So you want to get them see if you can open them a little bit to the back.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually from the shoulder, right? The shoulders.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so you need to relax your shoulder.
Actually, the more logical way is if her hip is resting on her shoulder, push your forearm into your leg so the shoulder moves away from your head.
Oh, okay. Everybody do that. Drop your ear to your shoulder. So scrunch your neck. And then press your elbow to your thigh and lengthen the arm, lengthen the neck, lengthen the torso.
And you don't have to change your neck at all.
Okay.
You can still be looking down. It's just that pressure in the arm.
Go ahead and frame your foot. Come down. Step the leg back, your right leg back into downward dog. Come down to your knees and back into child.
Very nice. Very nice.
I definitely need to do more research with like corrections and stuff because I think I missed that day when you guys were the adjustments and stuff like that.
No.
We did some of them, but that
Yeah.
one I gave you, you were here for.
That one, yeah. I totally
That's
slipped
why
my
I
mind.
gave it to
So come on up at your child's pose. So very nice, Jasmine. Good pacing. You didn't rush through it, which was nice. So that's good. Very, very good. Use a few more descriptive words for how you're describing to do things. For example, I love that you said frame your foot, but you didn't say with what.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, you'll get very literal people in class.
Oh no, I'm sure. I'm very sure.
Frame your foot.
Okay.
Yeah, so give, again, a few more cues with, because you did a great job talking in and out, but it was like every third one you needed another word, so we were just like on the borderline lost.
Okay.
And you may think you need to research, but really all you need to do is look around a room, and if more than half the people are doing it almost right, if there's that one person who's just contorted, you have to think about it a little bit.
Okay.
And it's kind of like the hip bone's connected to the backbone, the backbone's connected to the chest bone, the chest bone's connected to the shoulder bone, so what do you want to have me move first? That would be, it's like a set of building blocks.
Right.
Well,
especially like with the twisted difference, you know where it comes from.
Exactly.
Yeah, and see, because this is that thing, is I have such mobility that I can go like this, and you can tell me, move your arm,
Yeah.
and I can do that. But what you'll find is the reason they're doing this is because they can't move their arm,
Right.
because there's probably frozen shoulder or something like that. So ask them to see if they can just bring their shoulder up on top of their knee so that it's in
Okay.
alignment with their foot.
Gotcha.
Which is basically what it is. It's that same thing as in Trikonasana. I'm off alignment. And even if you have to have them do it this way, this still may be like this.
So it's just
but
like
they're
stacking.
better.
Mhm.
They're better alignment from hip to waist to back. The shoulder is a whole other issue.
Okay.
Anton, I've had an aha moment with that one. Your face lit up.
Oh.
When Lisa Ann was like curved like this, but then her arm looked great, you're like, ah. So speaking of which, it's your turn.
Okay. Now, let's start with that first.
What's her injury?
Wrists. If you're already in that child's pose, go ahead and stay there for another couple of breaths.
Anton, I really want my injury to be knees and wrists.
Okay.
Not really, but
In fantasy land,
in fantasy.
because I know you can.
Okay, whenever you're ready, come on up to a table. If you do have any knee injuries or any wrist injuries, what we're going to do is for your knees, go ahead and place a towel underneath, wherever that would be comfortable best for you. If you do have any wrist injuries at all, you can go ahead and make fists, or you can go ahead and clasp your hands together and come down onto your forearms.
One side note here, how I was taught with this, and this is in the Iyengar tradition, so, and actually Svarupa, so there could be other traditions, but I was taught thumbs pointing forward and out. Now, I don't know that there's not a reason that you couldn't do variations of it, but I'm just saying how I was taught was thumbs forward and out.
That makes sense. 'Cause
And I'm
for
just
the
gonna-
elbow placement.
The elbow placement, yeah.
Yeah. Now, this is in relation to me, for people that are having wrist problems or having ligament and tendon problems. When I put weight on my fists, my fingers stop working correctly in day-to-day life. So this is more happening for me, and then the forearm is more happening for me. You know, fingertips here, the wrist stays in one line, and the thumb can go down, because I was taught that probably in a Iyengar-oriented class. It was given to me as an option, but that's where those, you could put a blanket.
Yeah,
Under the
I was
heel
going
of
to
the
give a
hand.
third one with the
Oh, sorry,
math.
we just
Right
jumped ahead of
there,
you.
We
Sorry.
jumped ahead of
Sorry,
It's okay.
we get too excited,
That's
Anton. Go.
No, it's
We're
okay.
quiet. Teacher's quiet. Shh.
But no, the wrist thing with that thumb out, it may just be me, but I feel a lot of stress back here. For me, I have to gorilla it out and do it this way, and that feels, for me, better than this.
So yeah, so just be aware, one
Yeah.
might work for, because this gorilla in and out does not work for me either.
Okay,
So just be aware,
okay.
okay? But go for it.
So you have another
And try the version, just
like to try
sympathy. Try the version of folding them out so the heel of the hand is on the mat. And you gotta fold it enough so there's enough through it.
And whenever you find your comfortable spot, go ahead and do a couple of cat-cows while we're here. We're going to inhale into the back. Nice and slow. Punch that back out. Take that hip forward. Exhale it all out. Pushing my belly button towards the floor. Squeezing up the head. And back down, inhaling up through the back. And exhaling it back down. I honestly don't know what would be a more challenging version of this other than floating in midair using 0 G's.
Well, that's a great question. Let's ask our fellow students. How can I make this more challenging?
Arm and leg out.
Anything else? Yeah? Yeah. Could do something to the side. Yeah. With the leg. Could add a twist. Yeah. Sarah, can you demonstrate the twist? So go to tabletop, one hand down and the other hand up. So bring one hand under the nose and then the opposite hand up. Yeah. Right? So that might be another challenging variation. Yeah.
I think an easier modification, just because everyone loved the cat-cow except for the people with knee issues. No matter if it was a blanket, I had them do it under,
And
they
still
didn't
was
care. So then what I was doing was on the back. And I didn't I made it part of a sequence of laying down things instead. So then I started held into the pelvis and then laying down there.
That's known as two-part pelvic tilt.
But I did that instead of the cat cow.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
Have you ever done
2-part
pelvic tilt.
pelvic tilt.
If you bring it into bridge, it becomes 4-part pelvic tilt.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
I've done some, like a lot of my class isn't standing. That's the thing. But.
Yeah. So then the other variation was what Margaret was asking about. So knee issues and wrist issues, standing cat-cow works here.
Or in a chair.
Right. So excellent. Anton, where are we headed next? We're all seated.
We're already seated?
We are.
Okay.
Everybody.
Go ahead and put the soles of your feet together as close as you can.
What's our injury?
Hip, actually, which is I don't even know if I would do this if somebody said I threw my hip. I'd be like, nobody can ask me.
How would you say that again, Anton?
Nobody.
You could be a voiceover.
Okay, so if you do have any previous hip ailments, you could do this in a different way where you can just have your feet gently set out in front of you as far back as you can, or far forward as you can. Your soles of your feet do not have to touch. You can actually put the thumbs of your hands in between the arch of your feet, so that way it gives you a focal point for your actual eyes to gaze on the toes. If you want more of a challenge, you can go ahead and bring the heels in to the groin as far as you possibly can. Sit up straight as possible. Sit up as straight as you possibly can.
This is how I would modify somebody that can't let their hip drop.
Oh,
So I
okay.
would try to get their back as long as possible.
Okay.
They can hold on to the outside of it. Sometimes you bring their hands together. Sometimes it's just, okay. And just not overstressing.
Now, the one that they suggest there, I don't even know if I'd do that, where you put your hands behind your back just to push forward, because wouldn't that aggravate even more, like on the outer?
Well, no, because you can kind of lift. You can lift up, and also people are free to actually pull their knees up more as they lift up the back. Well, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Block, blankets, something that allows them to take their mind off the fact that their knee is never going to go down. It's usually an anatomical issue. Unless they're 16 years old, and then feel free over the next few months to break them a little bit. It's an off-the-cuff statement.
Okay, and for those of you who want the extra super awesome 5,000 star challenge, and lean back a little bit, bring those toes and those feet completely off of the ground, find that balance, Soft gaze about 2 or 3 feet in front of your mat. You might possibly have superpower in the mouth. And breathe.
I'll give you another variation for this, and I know this from Lisa Ann's twin. Yeah. Go to Malasana. So you bring the soles of the feet to the floor, feet wide apart, as wide as your mat is, the toes relatively still straight in front of you, not totally turned out. And then slide your arms down towards the toes, let the chin come into the chest. This is opening into the hips and low back, but it's not forcing an extreme opening of the hip joint. Does that make sense? Okay. Yourself all the way up, and then send the legs out in front of you. Very nice, Antoine, minus your teachers getting in your way.
That's what you're there for.
Success. So everybody's got it, right? You just think about, what if I couldn't do this? What if my neck hurt? What if my low back hurt? What if I had a problem with the knee? Where do I need to take it? And then you have to start, this is where you are in your teacher trainings, you have to start looking around the room and noticing if somebody's sitting there or if somebody's like this, where you start to notice and actually start to have feedback. And I think it's a great practice also to recognize that you sometimes have to split the class. You have to say.
And sometimes the feedback is nonverbal. If somebody's doing this is nonverbal feedback. You don't have to ask them what's going on. You have to figure out how to.
So let's take a break. If you want to, yes.
When I get into poses and I realize I can't do it, but I've been, a lot of my friends will say, oh, I couldn't do this pose, and that class was so hard, and I'd say, well, why don't you just, do what you can. And I think it's really common for people to struggle or just get frustrated. So as a teacher, we need to help them, even without them asking, or,
Exactly.
because people want to feel like they're
100%. When I teach, and I don't claim that I'm like the best teacher in the whole world, but when I teach, one of the positive comments that I get over and over again is that people love that I give lots of modifications. That they love that in almost every pose I say, if this irritates your knees, do it this way. I don't even ask if you have an injury. I assume that everybody has body things, and so I automatically give those variations. Now, I'm not teaching a super sweat vinyasa flow. I'm teaching beginning class or beginning intermediate class, but I just automatically do it exactly because of that.
But the problem with a super sweat vinyasa flow, people bring their friends in, so you have to keep your eye on those friends, because maybe they're power lifters, maybe they're runners. My favorite example is there's a woman up here who's a trainer, and for years when I'd see her come into Extended Warriors, her whole back would be like this. But that's from her years of training and bike riding and stuff like that. She's a strong woman. There's no way I was going to actually make any adjustment on that back, because it would disrupt what she's already built for what it is that she does. So when I was giving the extremes of, you'll have people that want to do the advanced version where they see people putting their hand to the floor in Trikonasana, but everything inevitably comes offline, and you have to tell them, this pose has to start here, and if you look at the person that's doing it correctly, their torso is in line with their hips.
Thank you. So,
I have one more.
yeah.
When I've been in classes where we're in like Trikonasana. And the teacher goes to give correction, like what I was doing. The people left in Trikonasana start to get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So I always have to remember, let them, if you can come in and out of the pose.
Yes.
Yeah. So just staying there.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was reflecting back, like,
Yeah.
everybody.
Or at least
knows.
tell the people that are staying there that are holding it, breathe,
Breathe. Remembering to breathe.
Yeah, yeah.
breathe some
Yeah.
more.
Exactly, just like what I was saying with Jasmine is you do with this person, but you have to then bring your attention back and check in with other people and look and see what's going on and say,
And remember that a minute passes or 30 seconds pass. It seems like it's not that long, but it actually
is,
Turns into
when you're in it, it is a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good reminder. And I liked who did it. Sarah did it. She had a really great it's metaphor, right? You said like you were holding a cup between your shoulder blades. Yeah, it's a really good metaphor. And the other thing that Sarah did that I wanted to point out was related to that was, at one point you said, and remember to breathe and relax your jaw. And because sometimes also, if you're just leaving everybody in the pose, it's not really that bad, but they're fixated on whatever they're fixated on. So if you remind them, relax the jaw. If you're still in the pose, relax the jaw.
push down into your feet.
Relax the throat. So it's like the what Anton we were talking about with plank, to press back into your heels. Then all of a sudden you're not thinking about how much strength it requires in your shoulders. You're working into the legs too. So sometimes you can use those tricks also.
All of those standing poses work the legs. So remind people, take your attention into your legs, into your foot, down into the ground, suck into gravity.
So let's take a break. Do people want this to be a snack break or a quick break? Close your eyes. Everybody close your eyes. If you would like this to be a quick break, wiggle your fingers. If you would like this to be a snack break, wiggle your fingers. If you don't care, wiggle your fingers. Oh, jeez, Louise, you guys, are you all Libras?
We'll do a snack. We'll do a snack.
Snack break. Snack break is what we want. Snack break. So if you want to have a little snack.
4:30, something like that, 4:35.
Yeah. If you want to get a snack and bring it back here and we'll chat.
Are we turning these in?
Yes, bring your poses back to Lisa Ann's toolbox.
I have a quick question. Does anyone
Yes.
have Tylenol?
I do.
I have peppermint oil. Do you have a headache?
I have a really, really bad back.
Oh, okay.
What do we have? What do you have?
Low back? Low back? So, Lisa Ann, do you have meds with you?
Yeah.
So Lisa Ann will give you some,
Thank you.
but I would say, what I'd like you to do though is, Lisa Ann, can we use your mat?
Yeah.
Come to the mat.
Step on the computer.
Don't step on the computer. You'll lay here and you'll put your feet here. There you go. Over there. Then go ahead. Yeah. Now, does that feel like your back's able to relax there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so just hang out here for a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere too. It started small and now it's just like
Yeah.
full blown.
Was there one pose in particular where you felt like it was like, whoa?
I mean, I worked my lower back yesterday.
It could be
I
sore.
think it doesn't feel sore. It feels sweet.
Really?
Yeah.
So you think you maybe
I
did
think I
something?
maybe pulled something.
Yeah.
And then doing this kind of activated it.
Yeah, so I like the laying on the back with the feet up because that really helps the spine
It's
neutralize.
just, yeah, relaxes.
Yeah, exactly. So just hang out here while Lisa Ann gets the meds.
Thank you.
Yes. Oh, thank you. I'm so happy that you're teaching at the church and that's going well.
I
And
know, it is going very well.
Your flow, I really enjoyed yours. It was really good.
Oh,
you can tell she's been teaching.
Yeah,
'Cause
definitely.
It's like what we said. You're gonna have to crank your neck. It's like what we said at one of the prior classes, it's the way to learn yoga is to do yoga, but the way to learn how to teach yoga is to teach yoga.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can tell that she's been absolutely
Yeah.
teaching and practicing, and when you say it once and then you go, that didn't work. You
Yeah.
go,
Yeah.
I have to say it a different way.
Yeah, no, definitely. I need to just practice more. Just
Saying it. Well,
Saying
we're
it.
practicing it in here.
yeah.
One thing I've been playing with is like, I've been doing like things like, hand to the ceiling, go down, then I go, okay, and I do it, I'll go up once and I'll do it again, and I go, okay, this time just focus on that lower hand, and like changing the focus, things like that. I don't know.
That's a
it's been
really
kinda-
good one.
It's been fun playing with them, and I have not been going off the script, and I mean, sure, I get tongue-tied occasionally, but like,
You're comfortable enough and that you can go without having to check your notes or anything like that.
oh yeah, I
Yeah,
haven't
awesome.
How long have
I
you been
was
teaching?
hoping-
since March.
I'm like, oh, okay. And you work out of Laguna?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So now hug the right knee into your chest, not to an extreme, but just hug it in. How does that feel? Yeah. Now hold on behind the thigh and press the foot straight up to the ceiling, not to your face, straight up towards my hand to the ceiling. Let some of the leg go. Don't let some of the leg go. Yeah, there. Is that okay for you? Mhm.
Oh, okay. And I'll just confuse me where it's saying, press line. I did that.
And then you just bend the right knee into the chest, and then you'll just put the right leg back onto the mat here, and then you'll do the opposite side. So hug the left knee. Does that feel okay for you?
It does, yeah.
The only reason I know is because I've done it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, where my back, and we're like, oh my gosh, and then you have to. So, yeah. And then hold on behind the thigh, and then push the foot up towards the ceiling. Yeah, let some of the stress out of the legs, so let the arms don't hold on. Like, it's not death grip,
Okay.
it's support grip. Is this okay on this side?
Yeah.
Because it's, it seems to me like you are a little lopsided today, because this knee is turning out and this knee is turning in. Do you see that? Look, your knees look
Yeah.
almost parallel going this way. So I would agree with you that something's a little, a little
Goodies for you. So,
What kind of goodies?
some stuff, some knick-knack stuff.
Knickknacks?
Yeah.
No, I don't need knickknacks.
We used to
Lettuce?
some- Oh, she's got some more of that too. It's like a nice bag for you.
Knickknacks I don't need anymore.
and then rest of the legs on here. How's that
And
feeling?
then
Is
am
that
I
okay?
coming on Monday still?
Please do.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I definitely have. I have a lot of, I have problems with this knee
Mhm.
and then this hip. So, guess I need to do something about it.
Mhm.
And then I also have problems with this knee right here, like that.
Spring and spread.
And it's kind of doing
As well.
I have a ligament that
Mhm.
pops
And
when I
she has
get moving. I can feel it right here with everything I do. And then I notice like if I do anything with weights, and some days it's good, some days it's bad. And when I do things with weights with it, it feels like it's just gonna pop out.
Oh, yeah,
So that's when I just stop.
yeah.
Are standing poses uncomfortable for you?
Right now, a little bit because of my back.
Yeah.
And then like laying, what was it? The first one where you said
You didn't want to
lay down. No, and then I also have heartburn. It's super random.
Okay, so bend the knees into the chest and carefully roll over to your side and help yourself up so you don't push you.
It's no good over there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay?
Thank you.
I bought
you're
this,
welcome.
I'll have to do that later.
Yeah.
And you could also do it with like a proper pillow top.
Yes,
already
yes.
seared.
And then she put,
right.
Thank you so much.
Oh.
I picked up two of them. One was cauliflower, one was asparagus.
Okay.
And it said, when I picked it up, I saw the date. It said August 3rd. And I was like, oh, cool, we'll barbecue on Sunday. Well, this morning, when I
Maybe
went
might
to
do
get
the
my snapshot for
position.
today,
Because I have a bed
one of
at
them said
home.
August 1st.
Did.
Like,
Oh,
Maybe it's right
yeah.
under my
I'm in
hips.
the oven right now.
Yeah.
It's,
This is my
so
favorite
and ginger.
Oh, right on.
From this work conference.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ours.
And
Legs,
then,
legs hanging off the bed.
No,
Yeah.
the one
Oh, I
that's,
bet that's so good.
close to us.
I
That feels
don't have
really
a frame on my bed. I just have a mattress on the floor.
Yeah.
The bottom mattress. That's really
You have like a
Linda or something.
sofa table that's behind a sofa. You could drape yourself, because that's usually about hip
I
height.
know there's one off of.
I would think my couch, the arm of my couch might work.
You could.
Yeah.
You could do it that way too.
I used to
And
work
then you'd end up in a
at,
forward fold, but
soy
the pressure
milk
would be on the,
and things like that
Yeah.
all the time.
that low back
Oh, yeah.
area.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
able to
I don't
cheap
know.
and
I don't know what I
staples.
do.
Uh-huh.
Every so often something happens.
Have you been teaching?
Yeah, I love. I used
A
to
lot?
do
No,
that during the summer
I would
because they had
wait.
such good deals.
Hmm?
on their
I do a
fees,
lot of
and you get to
weightlifting.
that part of the
And so
aisle.
I
Yeah.
think I did a back day yesterday, upper and lower back.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah,
I think
yeah.
I might
It's
have
like
tweaked
I can
something.
find all sorts
I
of.
don't know if it's like a nerve or
What?
something.
It's like $1.
How much are you
Give it to me,
lifting?
I'll eat it
Are
on
you
the
bench
way
press?
home.
I do a lot
They had
of,
that
most weights I do
watermelon
is with
juice for a
squats.
while. I don't know if
And
you saw
so,
that.
there's a lot of times where the weight is heavy and, I could do
Because
two
that
or three
actually
going down and then on my
expires
fourth or
because
fifth
the
one, I'm starting to
actual
lose
watermelon
alignment.
juice they had
And, my
was
knees turn
like
in or I'm
25
arching my
cents.
back.
Yeah.
That's the biggest one.
And you have tilts
Yeah,
and
smoothies
things.
with
And
it.
I would be using less weight
I
to see if you
know.
could get more repetition out of
Well,
it.
I've been working out for a really long time and I go through phases where I try new things.
But yeah,
And so,
it's
right now I'm trying out heavier weights and doing things like that. And I don't think it's really working out for me. Because I notice I'm in a lot more pain. I'm having a lot more issues with my knees, my hips, and
It's got
kind of to the point where I'm like,
self-checkout
I feel like I need to go to like a physical
There's
therapist.
always someone
Yeah.
there for you.
Oh,
The
right.
dynamic is that
My kids love the
unless you work with somebody
Oh, okay.
day in and day out, it's going to play
Yeah,
with your
cool.
posture alignment.
Yeah.
We have
Especially another
spotters and stuff
weightlifter.
like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
we always have a spotter, and it's not necessarily to grab the weights because I'm not that heavy with weights, but
Right.
it's to kind of tell me, hey, your knee's going in, push it out, get a wider stance, something.
Yeah.
Show me
So
that you're a pro.
But there's,
They
there's,
actually loaded it up.
I don't
Alright.
like to, go, there's a limitation.
I do that.
If your car falls on your child, you're going to figure out how to get the kid out of it.
right.
To practice lifting a car is kind of pointless because the adrenaline will kick in when it's supposed to.
Right.
And if you're doing it,
Oh, I don't.
but you're in pain, you're kicking up the cortisol and the adrenaline for no reason at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yep.
to me, those are messages
Yep.
that the body's sending. It's like you're treading
Yeah.
on
Or dish soap.
things.
I always
Your
think
muscles are
that.
strong enough,
Yeah.
but it could be the way the placement of the bones are.
Yeah.
It's not going to be something that can be corrected.
Something, because when I started, lifting heavy, I was just telling Lisa that I have a ligament that pops. Any movement like this. And when I do more weights, it's really noticeable. And it's like, what I could describe it as like a rubber band. And the more weight I do, the more it feels like it's stretching out and it pops back. And it's just so uncomfortable. And then this hip right here, when I walk, it pops.
Yeah, and that could be the labrum.
What's that?
That could be the labrum
What is
and the
nuclear?
trochanter rubbing or pulling away.
And that can't be good.
No, it's not.
No,
Sesame.
That's
wear
why-
and tear over time.
Remember,
Rice
did
chips.
you do the class where we did the somatics, where we did those slow movements, the contractions?
Yeah. I love that class.
Yeah.
And I actually went home that night and I showed, because my husband, he has the same thing. He has a lot of knee and hip issues. And I went and did that with him.
And those contraction backs are gonna, nice and slow, but only to
They just started carrying
a place of natural movement.
Yeah, I think I remember when I was doing that, my hip was popping. I
Yeah,
think we were doing that. And then you said if you're getting any sort of discomfort, have less movement.
do less movement.
Yeah.
Because what it is it's possible that the less movement will clear out
Yeah, that's good.
either scar tissue,
Yeah. I don't know.
because it could be scar tissue. Soft tissue is usually connective tissue and scar tissue. And it ain't fair. It is not fair.
And it's frustrating because, as you get, and I'm noticing it now as I get older, it's like things I would do no problem, and now I'm like, I have to modify this, and I get why it's frustrating. I totally get why it's frustrating, but
Yeah.
it's better than being in pain.
I've done it before over the holiday. One that was
Yeah,
vegan
this is a
and
tough
then
one.
one that was not vegan.
Sam, do you have
So,
the
sour cream and butter
About
mixed
which
and just mash the
poses
steamed
with,
cauliflower and
adjustments with.
these are the best with potatoes in it. Yeah, that's right, the potatoes. The pepper and salt on top.
It's like 3 minutes. It's like, yeah, I don't know, it smells amazing.
Yeah, that's what I said.
What are you, you're in the front?
In the front.
Back, smell it over here.
Your hands on
It's
adjustments.
at Wolf Fitness where we got and then iron in the morning. Stater Brother starts baking their breads and stuff like that, and it just fills that room. It's a small room, so it just fills the whole room up, and it's just like you want to stop everything you're doing and go eat bread.
Yeah. That's evil.
Are we losing you at 5 o'clock?
Yeah.
Do we have a little bit longer with you? How's the Ayurveda going, Anton?
Good. I mean, I'm
You're still doing it?
yeah, I'm still trying to get around some of the stuff. I tried to make one of those Thai chai tea things. It didn't work.
Did you do the one with the dates?
No, it was
Yeah.
the almond milk with the saffron and cinnamon and something else.
I thought that was the one with the dates.
It was the dates?
Yeah, I tried it too. It didn't quite work for me.
Yeah, I couldn't. I was just like, meh.
All the
I
dates-
just drank it anyway.
All the dates sunk to the bottom.
Oh, see, yeah, I
It was
mushed
like-
it all
It
together.
was like sludge.
Yeah.
It was like date sludge when I tried it.
This was tea?
Is that chai?
It's like it's like a cold drink substitute that's
Yeah.
supposed to be good for our doshas.
Mm-hmm. It just, yeah. I drank it because I didn't want to waste it. One of those things that I was like, okay.
So the sweetener is the dates.
Yeah.
So what I would be doing is soaking the dates in the tea solution for an extended
That's
period
what
of
it.
time.
That's what I think it needs to be. I
I
think
tried just buying the date sugar and that came until it's there. I put like 17 tablespoons in where before I'm like, okay, it's kind of sweet.
Well, that just, well, and see, that just shows you what your expectation is for
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah.
Did we do? Were you guys here for the adjustments class? We did downward facing dog, right? We did cover downward facing dog. All the way.
Then with the
What did I miss? Because nothing was posted as far as anything recorded. I missed
From
three.
Sunday?
I missed 3 classes, so I missed, because that one in person was canceled, right?
Right.
And then I missed
One
2
was-
onlines and 1 in person.
Yeah, and one online class didn't work.
Yeah, one online did it
yeah,
get
that one
recorded?
didn't get broadcasted. Or, yeah.
We have notes though, or wasn't that the one you already sent the notes out on?
I believe I sent notes
The
out.
it's the one. where
No,
we
I may
talked-
not have finished those notes.
Well, I read
Yamas.
the article about, what was that?
So,
You,
Brahmacharya, was it that one?
no, it might have been a Himsa, where the, from yoga.
I think it was the second half of the yamas niyamas that didn't get recorded.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
okay.
So it's
I was
basically-
reading through that.
It's
really good.
basically the book. And we
then
did the
research
questions,
journaling. Okay.
exactly. That was the one that didn't get recorded. And then the one in person was last Sunday.
mhm.
And that, I think we recorded on that.
That recorded, and that was all anatomy.
Mhm.
Oh, no, there was 2. There was one online and one in person. One was all anatomy. And the
The
other
online
in
class
person
was the anatomy class based
Did
on.
did you guys already do the quiz together, or?
No.
Everybody just has to. do
No,
that?
you guys just need to print that quiz
Got it.
and answer all the questions.
Okay, yeah.
Or note. I can't figure this out.
I have a question. Are we having like a graduation or what?
Well,
What happens at the end? Like,
yeah. Well, so, it's kind of up to you guys. What we did
Right.
last
Okay.
session is we all
Yeah.
went out to dinner. And we had, and like family and friends
Hopefully
were
this
invited,
Monday.
and we all went to the Thai place
Yes,
and
we're
had a
invited.
nice
We'll get
meal.
this
It was like
Oh,
after
okay.
our last
Oh,
class.
okay.
But I don't know.
So
You
because
guys
our,
will
yeah,
have
because our
next
last,
Saturday or
because
next Monday.
our kind of last
So
official, like, scheduled thing
whatever.
is the yoga festival, we have to schedule something after that.
A few spots.
that worked for everybody to come together. But that's what we did, is we did a yoga practice, and then we went over to the Thai restaurant and had
I won't be looking.
private pictures. We went across the street and took yoga
My
pictures.
secondhand surveys are completely over.
So we could definitely schedule something like that. We keep it a little informal to, hear what people want to do and what works for people's schedules.
Yeah.
So basically, so everybody knows, there's 3 things that you need to do outside of what you know about our schedule and things
Oh,
like
I
that.
understand.
One is you have to teach a class or co-teach a class. You have to fit that into your schedule. So you either can do it by yourself if you're like, look, I've got a very tight schedule. It only can be when it works for me. I don't want to worry about somebody else's schedule. I'm going to take the responsibility that it's just you. If you want to work with someone else because you're like, okay, I'm just getting my foot wet with this, I'd like to co-teach with somebody, then you have to work with their schedule in addition to ours to find a time to teach. You have to finish your homework and turn it in. And then if you want to meet us for a celebratory dinner, you can do that. You do not have to turn your homework in by the yoga festival, but you do have to turn your homework in if you want to get your certificate.
The timetable for that is there a 2 months?
2 to 3 months. If it has, well, let me put it this way. So, yeah, 2 to 3 months. You know, as a limit if you need some extra time.
But everybody
Rena still has not. But I will say this: she has been assistant teaching with me regularly, and I think, if you're in a situation where you just feel like you need more time to study, then we're not going to be like, you can't do that.
And she's also in a state where she wants her family to help her with some stuff right now.
Yeah.
So,
What did we decide? Are we extending?
no,
No.
people voted no.
Last
So here's
in
the
class that's supposed to happen is the 9th, is what I have on this schedule. Unless we want to meet up on the
16th, which would be with Lisa Ann, not me.
And what we could really do is you could practice teach, you could really we could work out any things that you really have questions about and unravel. You're going to have Annalisa next Saturday and next Monday. She's all yours.
So the 16th is a day that, if everybody wants to look at their schedule and see if they want, that would be your bonus class. We could offer that. Lisa Ann would be able to offer that. I can't because I got to do the yoga festival.
I think if you want to, send me a text or an email. Keep in mind the one person that we're missing, and we're missing her till the 10th, is Janice. She doesn't get back, and I'm sure she'd love to hook up on the 16th.
I'm definitely down for 16 because I'm going to be here Saturday.
Got it.
You won't be here on that Saturday?
No, I'm definitely
Okay.
on the 16.
It's okay, but if we have 3 people and
We'll do the
Janice
16th.
who want to hook up, or 4 people,
It wouldn't be required because it wasn't on our original schedule, but if you want to participate. There you go. There you go.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
let's just aim for 2 to 6 first.
Okay.
You can get here a little early if you want to do it, and you can start practice teaching. Start playing with, start giving each other problems. If you just do a sloppy yoga pose. Don't hurt yourself, but do a sloppy yoga pose and make that person go, am I doing it right? Just the way a student would do it. Am I doing this right?
You guys ever meet before class or do any of that?
They
We're
haven't
all
had,
kind of separate.
Different schedules.
Yeah.
They haven't
They
had a
live
chance
in
to.
Lake Arrowhead.
I mean, I remember last time we used to meet for class, and like Karina was great. She'd go, okay, I'm going to do this all in Spanish. And I'm okay, and stuff like that.
So if anybody wants to, come early, Anton, do you have studio keys?
Mhm.
So Anton has studio keys, and Lisa Ann drives, well, not this Saturday, but Lisa Ann drives by here at What time?
at like 12 o'clock, and
So
I
she
can open the studio.
studio as long as she knows somebody's meeting her here or something like that, for sure. And we can always get other people a key to here if you want, or you always can go across the street. So we're going to get back to started, and we're going to go to a meditation, and everybody gets a beautiful sunflower. If I can open it.
That was way too easy.
Where did you get those?
The grocery store. Sorry, I don't have a fancy answer for you. I grew them in my garden.
I was thinking like a farm. It looks like farmer's market.
Oh, anybody allergic?
You're
Beautiful like the sunflower.
Thank you so much.
You're handsome like the sunflower. You are beautiful like the sunflower. You're beautiful like the sunflower. You're beautiful because you're sunflower. You're beautiful like a sunflower.
Thank you.
Let's just take a moment, finding a comfortable seated position, and just study this amazing miracle. Notice how the petals are shaped. Notice the color. Notice any perfect imperfections. Study the green cup holds the flower. Notice the center of the heart of the flower and different textures, different colors. Pay attention to the green leaves cupping the yellow flowers and their textures. Where they seem soft or where they seem pointed or sharp. As you're studying this flower, create in your mind's eye, in your imagination, someone or something or an ideal that you have a deep, deep love for. And even though that person, that item, that priority might not be right with you in this moment, really feel a sense of strong love, deep love. As you're studying this flower, feel this deep, deep love. If you have a hard time with that, you can, in your imagination, or even whisper to yourself, I love, and fill in the blank with the name, the higher power's name. Close your eyes here and really focus on that sense, that feeling, that deep feeling of love Like this blossom is in the heart, full bloom of love. Visualize or picture a person, that idea, right in front of you, as clear as day, and feel that love in your heart. Let's go even think about a few things why you love this deeply, this completely. It's probably pretty appropriate that fingers like that. And small as you think of the magnitude of love that you have in your heart. You will find that you need to roll onto one side of the next exercise. But holding this love in your heart, this great, amazing, big love, allowing the love to radiate from your heart all the way up to the crown of your head and all the way to the tips of your toes, allowing your body to be enveloped in this sense of appreciation. On the side, open your eyes and take one of the flower love, pluck the petals off of his thumb. You can feel the petal in the fingertips. You can notice the shape, the texture. And have this petal be a devotion and honoring to the love that you have in your heart. And let it fall onto your yoga mat in front of you. Feel the love well up into your heart and select another petal and have it be a devotion to how much love is growing full in your heart and expanding in your body. And then select another petal and devote. Feel the love grow from the heart to the crown of the head to the tips of the toes, and then see that love extending to your beloved or to your higher power, whatever it is that you have in your heart, and keep selecting special petals, wishes, expressing the love, growing. Devoting these petals to love. See that the love is so great that it encompasses your beloved, your love. Love is so great in this devotion that it actually expands beyond to everything that is beloved and loved and special. And if it's a beloved, see that it expands to all of their beloveds, all of their loved ones. And more petals, blessing each one with your love and devotion. Beginning to notice all of the petals in front of you, how much love you have in your heart. Seeing it grow, expand. And moving a few more petals here. Seeing your love expand beyond people that you love and people around you know. Possibly people you've never met. Other beings. Sending them love and devotion. And love in your heart. Noticing how much love you have expanding around you. Nice deep inhale. And exhale. And carefully start to gather your petals up, except body. Gather your petals up and come to standing. All of this devotion and love in your hand. Pick them all up. Gather your hand, hold them special and sacred. All of this love, this smooth, open in front of your heart. You can feel between the palms of your hands these beautiful colors, radiating yellow love. Let's come together at Bobby's mouth. Bobby has a lot of love. Let's offer all of our yellow petals around Bobby's neck. Usually, coming through Tadasana, hands in prayer mudras, and just gaze at all of the love that each of us have in a devotional way. We all have such great deep love. No matter that group is two, or it is two, we all share this in common. I'll keep those in mind. Open your eyes again. Beautiful flow. Is there anything anybody would like to share?
And as I think for the most part, it already was showing the love that I have. It's just reflecting it back at me. So it's like even dissecting love. It was hard for me to do. This is a guided meditation from Don Pepper, which is wonderful. And most of the time we do it in closed petals. But I wanted to do the same thing, just simply open another vivacious. Take a moment, go back to your space, Bobby. We're using your yoga mat now. So, and if you have your notebook and you like to write down any thoughts that you have, anything that came up for you. Okay, that child, I don't know if anybody else, I was sending the child love.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I sent a lot of love to them.
Doing what you said last week, the noises where I was like screaming kid. Trying to acknowledge screaming kid. Full pedal. Don't want to full pedal.
Nap time.
Or they miss their nap because they're
Right out and about is their time. I'll say I had a hard time pulling the rose petals off the rose. It was hard for me. because I wanted to like hold on to the rose so much. It was so beautiful. And I was like,
I had that problem too, and then you kept saying, and then people about and I was like, okay, well I have to. So I did, and then.
When I started calling him, I noticed how
right, like a little joint or something.
So I thought that was cool because I was concentrating on the color. And then when my mind would drift to something it would tear. And the whole piece would come out. Like,
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
That's
so
interesting.
it really happens.
Once I connected with the devotional part of it, it's like an offering to that, whatever it is that we're, have that much love for. Then I got into it more. But it was very hard for me with the rose. To pull the petals off. It was very hard.
My brain just kept going, this flower is going to shrivel and die anyway. Why should I pull the petals off of it? It does it just by going through its whole process. And that's where my head kept returning.
So, you don't have to do Shavasana. But we are going to go into some more asana, and Bobby will have to borrow another mat. Or Shavasana in sunflower petals. Or not Shavasana, but asana in sunflower petals. I asked at the beginning of class if anybody had been thinking about scripts, and is anybody ready to share their script? One of them, Antoine, is ready. Is that a yes?
And if you don't have a script, are you ready to wing it?
Yeah. Everybody's gonna get a chance. So, but we the scripts are kind of first choice so that you can work out any kinks, because we're the group to work out the kinks with. Go for it, Antoine.
Oh, goody.
Let's do maximum of 5-10
My
minutes.
OCD kind of kicked in too, and I didn't want to frontal look, so I was pulling them all from the back.
The green one?
Yeah.
Or just the ones
Well,
around
just the
the
ones in the back, so that when I looked at it, it still looked good.
Aye, you guys.
Because I wanted to save it.
Well, I do have a couple extra. If for anybody who's like heartbroken that they don't have a perfect flower to take home, I do have a couple extra. So yeah, Anton, like 5 to 10 minutes max.
Okay.
If you have a longer script.
Darn. You're leaving us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
I will not forget Monday.
Okay. I will be sitting out this round.
That's okay.
But I'll
You've
be
seen
paying
this one. You've
attention.
seen this one anyway, I
Okay.
think.
Do you want
Been
music?
trying to. Sure.
What type?
Slow and melodic, or world death metal?
Slow and melodic works.
Okay.
I took some of your recommendations for some of the ones that I've been working with you. Added some things so that they're not too goofy.
Okay.
This is the place to try it out.
All right, that's what I thought. I've been crash coursing at Refresh anyway. So. Go ahead and come to the top of your mat. Go ahead and soften your gaze. Close your eyes if you want. Soften the knees. Start with a nice cleansing breath, something short. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale again. Exhale. Go ahead and envision a color of your choice. Make it a mist in front of you. And inhale through the nose, counting to 4 or 5. Exhale, counting to 4 or 5. Inhaling again, this time maybe extending it to 7 or 8. Exhaling it out to 7 or 8. The next inhale, be aware of your toes. Grip the earth with your toes. Go ahead then and come up slightly on your tiptoes. Push those heels back. The balance, your legs may sway. Soften the knees. Go ahead and feel the muscles in your thighs. Rotate them inwards. Continue to breathe. Go ahead and tuck those hips forward. Roll those shoulders back. Lengthen the spine like there's a string pulled up to the sky. Turn the palms forwards or at your side. And go ahead and breathe. Next inhale, go ahead and raise your hands up to the sky. And exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale down. Try that coming to our tiptoes at the same time. So inhale up, come onto your toes. May crack. And exhale on your way back down. Soften the elbows. Inhale back up. Exhale down. On your last inhale up, find a soft gaze somewhere close in front of you, and just hold this for just a brief second. You want to interlace your fingers, push your palms towards the sky, breathe for a moment. Ready? Go ahead and release it all back down. Go ahead and roll the shoulders back. Forward. Maybe get some energy moving. So go ahead and bring your hands together and go ahead and rub your hands together. Palms, even the backs, the the tops by your cuticles, getting nice and warm. Maybe the thumbs. And go ahead and bring your hands to your face and give yourself a nice face wash. Rub it around, rubbing around the actual sinuses below and above. Doing circles around your temples. Bring the circles down to upper jaw. front, back up to the temple, and maybe squeeze the ears, earlobes. Pinch them, do little circles, bring those down, get the blood flowing in the ears, and then down to the earlobes. You just pull off the earlobes and then bring it out. From here, we're going to hug that tree that's in front of us. Fingertips about 3 to 4 inches away from each other. Find that soft gaze again. Breathe here. Relax the shoulders and the jaw. Inhale. And exhale. Exhale. On that next inhale, you're going to bring the tree into yourself and then extend it back out. Exhale. Inhale back to yourself and exhale. One more, inhale it in. Now become the tree. Your hands will come out into a nice goal post. Wiggle your fingers, the leaves, branches. And go ahead and breathe in through those fingertips, the nice mountain air. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Go ahead and lower your shoulders and your hands. Come back to the breath from the beginning. Tag out. Okay.
Thank you, and release. Good job, Anton. Very nice. My only feedback, I think it was all great. I loved doing the face massage and massaging the ears and the jaw. I love doing that. My only suggestion is add one leg movement in that sequence.
Oh, okay.
So either when you open it up here, step the feet hip width apart.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Take the stance of the picture.
To the ground out.
Right, or
Okay.
or add a leg here or
Okay.
something, because it's too much stationary.
Okay. Yeah, I
Right.
usually go to tree then after that, and I work my way back up, and then do
That
that.
was great. That was great. Really nice pacing.
Okay.
Really great volume.
Okay. I was worried it was too soft.
No, I think it was perfect for the room. It was really great. Great. I loved the fingers are like the leaves and breathing.
I was going like this.
Breathing.
And your pacing was 100% different.
Okay.
Better.
I worked on that.
Yeah.
Monday.
Yeah, nice, very nice. So, excellent. So, and you fully have the idea about having a script that not that you teach that in every class, but that's you can always go back to it. Or if you're like in a rush and you get to class, you're like, what am I going to do? You know where you're going to start.
Yeah.
You know your strength.
It's kind of.
Yeah. Very nice. Anybody else want to give it a go for a script? It doesn't have to be as long as what Anton did. It might just be 3 poses. No, you did. That was perfect. I'm just saying, I don't want anybody to feel pressure because you're teaching.
And we did practice teaching, and I gave pointers last week at the end of the day, and he followed all of those things.
Yeah. Anybody else want to try even just 2 poses or 3 poses that are your own putting together?
Well, I'll try.
Okay, go for it, Bobby.
Okay, let's refocus. Close your eyes. Soften the jaw. Roll the shoulders a couple of times. Feel the relaxation in the neck. Let the shoulders drop. And stand in a nice, strong mountain pose. Feeling your feet ground. Maybe lift the toes a little bit and lower them. Lift the heels slightly and lower them. And then step your feet, open your eyes, step your feet to the edge of your mat, both sides. And we're going to inhale our arms up and exhale them down. 3 more times like this and with your own breath. Inhaling, exhaling. On your next inhale, bring your arms up. And on your exhale, you're going to fold forward halfway. Drop your hands on your inhale. Exhale, drop your hips so that your torso is parallel with the floor. Inhale, drop your head and fold up into a forward fold. Inhale, swan dive up. Exhale, hands to the heart. 3 more times. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, swan dive out halfway. Inhale, drop your hands.
Margaret, bring your hands to your legs.
Exhale,
And then
drop
fold
your
from there.
torso, leaving your hips up so that you have this, your hips down. Exhale, forward fold. So this is your inhale. Exhale, hands to your hips. Exhale, halfway. So hands can be on the legs, on the thighs, or on the floor. Inhale, drop the hands to the floor, drop the hips. Exhale here. Torso parallel with the floor. Inhale, drop the head, forward fold. Exhale here. Inhale, up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Breathe here. Relax the jaw. Shoulders. Drop your hands by your sides. Reach your left arm up over your head. We'll do a lateral stretch to the right. This is your inhale, exhale to the right. Inhale back up. 3 more times to the same side with your own breath. Exhaling, extending, softening. Inhale, stretch out. Exhale over. We're going to go deeper with each exhale. Inhale. And exhale. We'll stay here for 2 to 3 breaths. Lengthening through the side body. Dropping the hand to the head. If you need to, get the weight off of the neck a little. Inhale back up. Drop the left arm. Exhale. Good. Inhale your right arm up. And then lateral stretch to the left. Exhaling. Inhale up. Exhale over. Inhale up. And exhale over. Lengthening, stretching. Inhale up. And exhale over and hold the pose, not the breath. 2 to 3 breaths. You can drop that arm a little bit so it's maybe behind your head or resting nicely so you don't feel any stress. And the next inhale, slowly come up, bring your arm up, and exhale, release the arm. Roll the shoulders a couple more times. Feel the neck relax.
Okay. Is there anybody else who'd like to take a couple poses or just try two?
I think that.
Where we would go from here? Yeah.
Okay, let's step our feet together. Inhale and swan dive down to a forward fold. Bring your hands to the mat and step back into downward dog. Drop your knees to the mat. Sit back on your heels. Bring your feet out in front of you. And we're going to sit in easy pose. Legs crossed. Hands can be on your knees if that's comfortable for you. Another variation on easy pose is to have both legs to one side. If that's more comfortable for you. And we'll take our right ear and gently bring it to the right shoulder. And center. And left ear to left shoulder. Center. If your neck is comfortable, we're going to do a neck roll to the front. Start your right ear to your right shoulder and roll your head to your left ear, your left shoulder. If it's comfortable, you can go all the way around the back, or you can continue back and forth in the front. When you're done, bring your head back center. We're going to take our shoulders and round our back and bring our shoulders forward. And bring them back. And we're pulling our shoulder blades together in this group. And shoulders forward. And shoulders back. And back to center. And we're going to do a little bit modification if it feels comfortable for you on the ear to shoulder. So we'll bring our right ear to our right shoulder, and our right hand will come gently on our head. And back to center. And we'll tie the other side. Left ear to left shoulder, and bring your left hand up on top of your head. We're not pulling, we're just gently holding our head. Make sure your jaw stays relaxed and you continue breathing. And back to center.
Very nice. Thank you. Good job. Really good. Very nice pacing. Very nice pacing. I didn't once feel like you were going too fast, and I didn't once feel like you were going too slow. You know what I mean? It was like a nice pace. That was good. And you also were loud enough. I think everybody could hear her. Was the volume okay for everybody? Yeah, very nice.
That's completely off the cuff.
Well, now you have to write it down.
I had not even thought of what I was going to do, but I do like the neck one.
Right.
Because I have neck issues, and so.
Yeah. So now you have to write down so that you have that script and that you know, okay, I can come to seated, and here's what I can do in the seated position, and I'm comfortable with this. Yeah.
And if you look in the toolbox, there's a script for the neck. If you have questions, contact me because I'll clarify what they're doing. I'll clarify it for you if you really need that. I believe I did it at the beginning of the training, and it had to do with lifting the eyes. Lifting the chin. It's just, there's machinations with turning the head and getting the full stretch out of it without strain.
Okay.
Yeah. But look at that, look at the script that exists in pictures.
Well, I saw something today on the shoulders. I was just looking at it this morning, looking at the book, and it was like an endless one.
I liked the pulling the shoulders back, squeezing the shoulder blades together. That was cool.
Yeah.
That was cool. So rock forward, bring the palms of your hands to the top of your mat, uncross your legs, tuck the toes under, inhale, exhale, reach the hips high up to the sky, downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here, stretching out the legs. You can even sway the hips side to side here. Look between the hands, step the feet forward. Flat back, halfway up. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive or roll up one vertebrae at a time. Come all the way to standing, reach through the fingertips. Bring the hands to prayer mattress in front of you. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Flat back, halfway up. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Bend the knees, hands to the mat. Step or jump back, plank pose. Soften the jaw, reach through the crown of the head, push through the heels. In a way that works for your body, lower yourself to the ground. Release the toes, Sphinx pose. Elbows come underneath the shoulders, spread the fingertips wide apart, stretch into the belly, lift the heart. Take a few breaths. And release. Rest your right or left cheek or your forehead on your stacked hands. Send the breath to the back body. Bring the palms of the hands underneath the shoulders. Squeeze the elbows in at your sides and roll the shoulders back and hover your hands off of the floor. We're going to pump this a few times, releasing it down. Make sure the head and neck is comfortable and lift the chest, hover the hands, warming up the back body, and release. 2 more times. Last one. And release. Make your way back to downward facing dog. If you choose, you can press the knees into the mat, lifting the hips up. Tuck the toes under, and then lifting the hips high. Lift between the hands. Step or jump your feet forward, making sure to alternate. If you usually step forward with the right, step forward with the left. Halfway, come up, flat back. Back to your forward fold, and either roll up 1 vertebrae at a time or unfold, reverse swan dive, all the way up, reaching up towards the ceiling. Hands come to prayer mudras in front of the heart. Taking a breath or two here. And release. So, adjustments. Let's see. How about Anton? Everyone come watch Anton. So Anton, please go to plank pose. So from plank pose, we know that some of the adjustments could be looking at where the hips are. His hips are in perfect alignment. There's nothing to do there. We talked about the, possibly standing behind the heels so he can press back into the heels, or encouraging him to lift your head up a little bit. Yeah, reach through the crown of the head. Lower yourself to the ground, please. Okay. Now, slide the forearms onto the mat for Sphinx pose. So what are some adjustments here that I could do in Sphinx pose? Not that he's doing it wrong, but we're using him as our model. Give me some feedback about this. What do you think I could look at? Let's start from the toes up.
Well, his toes could be still under, and you could tell me laying flat.
Correct. Yes. Right? Yeah. Lay your toes flat again. What else could I do toe-wise,
Maybe
foot-wise?
turning so that they're more straight.
Right?
Like say
Yeah.
if they were like bent out or something.
Right.
down, then-
Yes, exactly. One thing that might feel good for him, don't try and hold your feet anymore, is for a little pressure. How does that feel?
Strange.
You can do that with the heel of your foot also.
Right? I also could look at the width of his legs. So relax down, Anton, and spread your feet as wide as the mat is apart. There you go. And then press back to your Sphinx pose. Is Sphinx okay on your back?
Yeah.
Okay. You didn't sound convinced. That was a yeah with a question mark, not a yeah with a period.
It depends.
How is it today?
It's okay.
So I could assess this. Now what I wanted to point out to everybody is wide legs is a release valve for tightness and tension in the low back. So if someone has their legs wide and then I go, oh, let me bring them back together, there's a reason why the legs are compensating for that. Which feels better for you, Anton? Legs wide or legs close together?
I feel it in 2 different spots, actually. Like out.
What if you move your elbow?
That actually hurts.
That hurts.
Yeah.
So bring the elbows back in then, don't do that. Okay. My other adjustment could possibly be I'm not pushing my fist. Fingertips lengthening through the spine. Right? Okay. My other adjustment could be, and this is much more traditional, is with the shoulders and the front of the chest rolling back. Now, if you know a student and they are able and capable of it and you want to give a little bit more pressure, otherwise it's just a light rolling to the back, right, for the shoulders. Now coming forward, what could I do with the head, neck, hands, arms?
You want your elbows right below the shoulders.
Right, so I could say, here's the shoulder, here's where the elbow could be, right?
Yeah.
How does that feel, though?
About the same.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I do notice that his wrists are a little bit at an angle. So how does it feel for you if you bring your wrists straight out?
Better.
Okay. And then, of course, a common one is fingertips together. And so then saying spread, and look how I can actually use my fingers like a vice, you know, opening the fingertips to give that idea. Anything else I could do, head, neck?
Soften the jaw, extend the crown of the head, lengthen the
So I
back
could
of the
do-
neck.
Yeah.
His head like poked back,
Yeah.
releasing
The throat.
releasing the compression in the back of the neck.
So like focusing on lengthening the back of the neck versus looking up, right? And the sense, what I did was like this to lengthen it, right? Or lengthen this way, but not that way. Release, please, Anton. Anything else, Lisa Ann, adjustment-wise in a Sphinx? And all of those would be Sphinx, up dog, and Cobra. Would be similar things I'd look at.
When Anton lays down, let your head relax. If you open your legs, does it affect your lower back?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. What happens if you bring the legs a teeny bit in, but let your toes point towards each other? Yeah. How about that?
Opens it up a little bit, but then
Yeah.
tightens up a little bit higher.
Higher. Try your legs like this. Prop yourself back up into Sphinx and see if that spot that's a little higher, because I think what we're trying to do is get you out of the low spot.
That's different.
That low spot's the more predominant spot. Open up those wrists a little wider. How's that?
A lot better.
A lot better. So he would benefit because he's such a precision-oriented guy that for him to actually bring his feet so they turn out, he can control that because he can control the other movement. And if this takes pressure off that low, then that would be beneficial to you. And you could even try bringing the toes closer together and see how
Like
that
this
changes.
way?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Did that tighten your glutes a little more than?
Yeah, I feel it more in the glutes and the back of the
And
legs.
that's where we'd like you to feel it
Okay.
instead of in that
In the back.
bony sacrum area that you're constantly protecting.
Okay. And release. So go ahead and lay on your belly and then put, forehead there. So now the next, one of the next adjustments that I do, and it's actually more in the line of like massage or especially for like a private class, is giving the back body attention. Have we done that yet? Did we do that? No.
It's like the best part.
Sarah's like, yeah, this is the awesome class to go to. Did we come to?
We did a little bit of it,
Little
but
bit.
not really.
Little bit.
Shavasana,
Little
but
bit.
not on the belly.
Belly. Well, let's. So sometimes with male students, if they're tight in the shoulders, they prefer to have their hands on the forehead on their hands, so there's more space for the shoulders. Some will move the hands out of the way, and some people prefer one side or the other, a cheek, not forehead, cheek. But what I like to do is, the opposite. What I like to do is I have my hand at sort of the top fleshy part of the buttocks there's the bone of that, is that the iliac crest on the back?
On the back side, that
Yeah.
would be the top of the iliac crest.
To give it a little pressure, and then how does that feel, Anton?
Okay, my other hip comes off the ground.
That's fine. It's a little massage. And then sometimes I'll give the opposite
Oh, I see.
shoulder a little pressure. And you can see my knee is bent and I'm leaning with a little bit of weight, so it's not my arms. And you see how he moved his hands out of the way when I did that. Then I like to go both And then I'll switch sides. Sometimes I'll walk around depending on how I'm feeling, and sometimes I'll just move one hand here and then one hand here. And it's not a lot of pressure. I'm not like trying to push them to the ground. Just a little, yeah, it's a stretching. You see where his t-shirt is showing? And then many times I'll go back up to the shoulders here. And this is where I can do a little squeeze, or I can rock the shoulders a little bit, or even go all the way down the back body. For women during their menstrual cycle and they have a lot of cramps, sometimes in this low back area, it can feel good to just give a little bit with the thumbs.
Squishy like.
Yeah,
and squeezing a sponge.
Anytime.
Or anytime, yes, but in particular, especially to the spine and pulling away a little bit. Pulling away a little bit. Doesn't feel bad though, does it, Anton?
Like this?
Yep.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah,
Okay.
you got it. You can even go up, down, and up. Sometimes I'll do a little bit of pressure here, a little bit of pressure, but I'm not walking on their back. And then brushing it out, something like that. Brushing it here. Anything to add when someone's on the belly? Sphinx, cobra, up dog.
Sometimes it just feels really good to have somebody go over those areas the same way she was kneading with the thumbs between the shoulder blades there. That's a really nice part. You don't go on the
now I
spine.
can go.
Yeah. And you just roll over the extenders.
If you're teaching a private class and you want them to come back, you do this. The end of class, okay? So Anton, roll over to your side and push yourself up.
So
Okay?
you were doing this?
Yep.
Okay.
You got it.
I couldn't tell on the
On the right,
Lower.
exactly. What's
So.
going on?
I have a question.
Yes.
So when you're doing that, I swear, I asked this
It's okay.
but if someone's on their belly,
Mhm.
they have like big boobs.
Mhm.
Is there a protocol about? I don't want to like push them
Squish,
into-
yeah.
Squish them, yeah.
Well, here's the thing. If it's really uncomfortable for them to lay on their breasts, they probably won't.
They probably wouldn't anyway.
Right.
They
If
may be on the side.
Right, and so I might not press as hard into the shoulder, but it's going to be fine in the hip, and it might actually feel really good to get a little pressure off of the chest, right?
Yeah, because I usually, if I'm doing that, I just go both hands into the hips
Right,
instead of even dealing
with the, yeah.
Okay.
But no, and you could also do, here, if you don't mind, lay down one more time. You could also do, you could also do, you could just do massage here onto the shoulder instead of pushing it down opposite here. You
I
could.
haven't really had a problem with it. I just kind of.
Thank you, Anton. Yeah. No, if they're that uncomfortable laying on their chest, they're not going to be the first place. Or you're going to see they're going to grab a blanket and put it as a prop under their torso.
Sometimes though, the other way you would do is you try rolling it that goes between the cleavage. Sometimes that helps.
And the other thing is, just like what I said with men with big shoulders, women will do the same thing.
Yeah.
Like if I'm laying on my belly and I'm uncomfortable, I'll come up like this.
That makes sense.
So you'll see me prop my torso up more anyway.
Then you could still do this one.
Do it. Yeah. I mean, it's going to make me slide a little bit.
Right.
If you want to get good leverage, try a lunge, yeah. Because then you don't have to use your arms, you're using a lunge.
Yeah, no, it's great. Yeah. Yeah, it's awkward, especially if you're used to being right-handed or left-handed. Yeah. You're hired. Yeah.
Oh.
So, let's give it a shot. So, we have 4 people and 2 partners, excellent. So, one person will be down first. Anton is not down first because he just did it. So one person, you're going to go through your beginning vinyasa flow, go to plank, lower yourself down, and then let's just go with Sphinx because you need to stay there for a little bit while the other person's doing the adjustments. And it's not even that you're doing it wrong, but I want you to do each of the adjustments so that you're comfortable with doing them. And then you're going to have them lay on their belly, and then you'll do the massage adjustments, okay? Yes.
I'll lay down and get adjusted.
All right.
Yeah.
It's like scratching.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, which is
Yeah.
better now? This?
Yeah.
So you're gonna say, why is this foot up and this foot down?
Is that better?
Hold on, I don't want to.
So,
Remember your glass.
so we're in plank, right? So you adjust me in plank. My foot's fine, I can walk over it, but I can't do, I
Oh,
can't.
okay, yeah.
Lower your hips just a little bit more. Perfect. And just push your heels back towards the back wall. Does that hurt your wrists at all?
If you want, you can
Oh, I
press
know.
your heels
Or,
against.
you know, it looks like it's like, you know what I mean? To me, it
I
looks
can
like
do the other
it's
foot.
painful. Oh, okay,
Not
good.
that you're
scratch your back
right,
any
that's
day.
one of the adjustments.
Most people can get there like that.
Because like when I look at mine, you know, it's kind of rounded out. Yours actually indents
It actually indents it.
So that looks painful to me.
It,
I thought I'd ask.
It's fine.
Okay.
So that's interesting.
And then lower your hips just, yeah, there you go. Perfect. You bring your elbows in more when you lower down.
It's
Or
hard.
is it
It's
hard?
hard. Because of this.
Oh, that, okay, that makes sense.
It
All right.
makes it really hard, so
Okay.
I try.
Okay. No, that's all. That's all I need to hear. You try. Right. And then
I mean, Coco's.
excellent.
Oh, sweet.
And then you bring your elbow back.
Well, Spanish
over
your
here.
elbows.
There you go.
Cobra is here. You're like
I've
that.
been doing that for the last
So
I
that
used to
helps.
do it. My hand where it needs to be, and I tell them to.
This is Bujingasana.
Yeah. Yeah, you're good.
What
at
they go
that.
like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Bent harder, actually.
Like I had somebody doing
And
shoulder
then
stands
spaces.
one day
Yeah.
just because they
Which is
thought
easier.
they were being cute during like an inversion. I was like, I was like,
So I'm gonna leave my foot down,
heels,
just
their feet were
Oh,
way
okay.
ahead,
Pressure on it.
and
Okay.
they were like, oh, that hurts. And I'm like, the inversion.
Tried to make
Yeah, you're good. And then.
the lab.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Yeah.
go.
Oh, I am the queen of nagging.
I need that
Things
because
cool.
it's like, oh yeah, it's on my list. I'm gonna be up the hill. I don't have access
Cool.
to my.
And does that feel good with the hands open, with the thumbs
And I
like
need to
that?
make contact. Yeah, it's like,
Cool.
It's harder.
Yeah, you're ready.
And then again, like bring your your
Yeah, no,
elbow back
totally,
where
I
you
can
feel.
totally
There you go.
understand. I'd be like, hello, good morning.
Perfect.
Lily's
Perfect.
farting, have you contacted
The lab.
I don't know.
The Sphinx.
I got the Sphinx.
Cool. And then you can go ahead
Don't
and
forget
roll
the
yourself.
shoulder, did everybody do the shoulder roll?
This?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yes.
did that.
Good. And then when they're ready to release,
Then you're gonna lay on. So when they turn their head,
just,
Oh, I can do whatever.
just ignore it.
Is it-
Wherever they naturally put your head, it's
Okay,
just gonna be
release.
for 3 breaths. It's just a feel-good massage, so don't worry about their, their head has to be a certain way.
I was thinking like placement, like when they do their twists, would be more appropriate to start with the left if their head's facing right, or.
yeah, as you get more comfortable with giving the direction, you can tell them to do this side, let them be on this side,
Okay.
do the stretch, and then go turn your head in the other direction.
Yeah. And remember with the diagonal stretch, the idea is lengthening and then asking your partner, is that enough pressure? Is that,
Is that more or less?
Here,
Yeah.
I was wondering if that was,
Get on the fleshy part.
Oh, out here.
Right, Bobby?
Oh, pushing out.
You're my best friend.
Always look for the fleshiest part of their butt.
Okay.
Well, that
Oh,
doesn't
okay,
work
right
on
here?
her because she has a little tiny.
How about-
She
My
doesn't
head
have
is
much
really low.
Actually,
I just have
an old
I
leg.
myself with my arm on my leg.
But there's the beginning of the hump.
And then-
Yeah.
See, like I went here
Yeah.
and she was
Like I
like,
did on this
Yeah,
side.
so what her
This way.
her hip bone is here. Looks like it would be
How's
here.
that?
So what I usually
Oh, really, here?
I'll start
Okay.
higher and slide my hand down till
Okay.
it hits it. So I know I get it here. It's just grabbing.
Too far up
So
on
I
Right
get to
there?
go higher, scroll, slide
Right
down,
here?
and I get.
Yeah.
the, okay.
Did you say, Anton? I was giving
Sorry.
a little, no, it's okay. You weren't doing anything wrong. I was giving a pointer.
Okay.
What I do is to make sure that I'm hitting where the bone is.
Yeah,
Sometimes where
Okay, so
where
now
it
you're
looks like it
putting
would be
pressure
for
just
the
on
buttocks
bone.
isn't where it is I start higher and I slide my hand down until I feel it. And if I miss it, it's okay.
Okay.
I go back and I hit it. And then I hit it here,
Okay.
right? Because sometimes with different women and different figures, it might look like it's over here, but it's really, try to start
Yeah.
a little high, slide the hand down.
Go a little further with, yeah.
And then you can choose, is pressing it down towards the foot. The other is to try to go a little bit out and hit it diagonally out. You can try both.
Doing that lunge.
Yes, lunge is important to support you, the person who's doing it.
But I was gonna say, I'll share it later. I could not
Is
lay
that
down on
same
my
or-
belly for, about 6 months. Because of my breast cancer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not everybody likes their belly, and I usually give that to people as an option. I say if it feels okay for you to lay on your belly, then I'll give that as a possibility. And some people love it, and some people it just doesn't work for them medically or other reasons. So now you want to have done diagonal. You want to have done standing over their head and doing both hips down, it's back. So then you're looking for both.
So that's the same thing too, where you can kind of slide back.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Hard jump. Okay. That's great.
And then once you get there, hold it and take 3 breaths. And this is a little workout for you, the person who's doing it, right? Yeah. That's good. And then you slowly release like butter. Slowly let it go. Yeah, you got it. Now do a little shoulder massage so you can then go around them the other way, or you can stand this way and you can do a little squeezing into the shoulders. Yep, you got it. And then you can try the thumb thing. The thumb thing, that's a technical massage term, right? Yes. Thumb thing. So you'll take at the spine, you'll separate away from the spine, and then you can, it's like scoop. It's a little scooping motion, then scoop up and scoop down. You can try that a little bit.
Too hard for her.
I'm gonna have to gauge I am though, because when I get massages, they end up with their elbows, so I can take it.
That's how Anton is.
Yeah.
Anton is that way too.
Pick a button parts, stick your elbow here and go to town.
And then you're going to just do a couple caressing strokes, maybe down the spine. Yeah, exactly. Very nice. Yes. You can even do that to the left feet, whatever is hitting. And release and then switch so your partner gets a turn. Please, I probably would love to. Please stand right.
I'll just do a turn.
Or do you want to for fun, Lisa Ann?
On you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There- you know,
Absolutely.
You have to do a little bit of distance.
and you tuck your head down the dog, or we go.
This is my plank.
Oh, that's your plane. Go ahead and bring the feet back until you can feel mine. Drop your hips down. Actually, come down to your knees first. And then knock your back up. And then push the heels back. There we go. And then bring your hips down a little bit. Oh, wow. That's
As long as they're on
super
a mat
Japanese
before I
massage
finish
over there.
it.
And then if you can widen your arms out maybe just a little bit.
Japanese families